Hello.
Hey, people. Now we can see each other. Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, technology once again is on our side.
How are you doing?
Fantastic. So who have we got today?
There's David. David.
Hey, David.
And Rose.
Hey, Rose.
Flora.
Hey, Flora.
Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Jemima.
Hey, Jemima. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Terrific, terrific. Getting better by the minute.
And Wangeshi.
Hey.
Hi.
Fantastic.
Lucas,
So,
yeah.
And Lucas over there.
Lucas is somewhere in the background, I know.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So today's call, we're gonna be doing the first part of the essential training. Now, essential training is a really something that we use here to, especially for brand new people who are getting started in a business, because this is like a nice way of getting somebody started, with a framework where they know what to follow, sort of steps and everything. It's not like, here's your sample kit and off you go, call me when you become a pearl kit. They need a little bit of a structure. And what I find with essential training, that it actually gives people that structure to follow. And it's a long training. This training is about 3-hour training, so we're not going to do it all of it today. So we will sort of split it over the next couple of weeks. So today mainly we're going to look at finding prospects and then inviting prospects. So these are the two skills we're going to be concentrating today, and then next week we'll go into the other skills like presenting, promoting events, follow-up, closing, and things like that. But we'll take them as we go along. Now, again, the webinar today will be around an hour, and if you have any questions during or at the end, you just give a shout, and then I'll stop and I can answer any questions, etc.
Okay.
Awesome. So let me just try and share my screen. Okay, entire screen, share. All right, I'll bring up the slides so you should be able to see. Okay, can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so you see essential training, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, so this essential training, it's based on Eric Worre book called GoPro, and basically it covers the 7 essential skills for success in network marketing. So these skills are not advanced. These are not like something out of this world. A lot of the stuff is probably going to be fairly basic for you guys because you've been in a business for a while, but these are the essential skills. These are the skills that we need to pass on to brand new people when they're getting started, because if we don't, then it's sort of it's more difficult for them to duplicate or to copy our results, etc. So the 7 skills that we're going to be covering, like I said, the first one is finding prospects. Now, finding prospects is a skill. A lot of people think that this is a natural resource. You're either good at prospecting, talking to people, or you're not good at it. But the reality is that it's a not natural resource. It's actually something you can develop and learn it. And obviously, finding prospects or building a network of people, it's a very, very important skill, not just in business. I mean, overall in life. The larger the network, the better. We'll talk about that, what it gives to us. But one of the things, like people like Robert Kiyosaki, who is quite famous in the business world, he says the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everybody else looks for work. So this sort of puts it in a nice perspective, which almost network equals to business. If you have a large network of people that you have connection to, then automatically you will be in business. Because this way, you can have so much resources when you have access to many people. And the other person, Harvey Mackay, is quite famous as well, and he's written a book called Build Your Well Before You're Thirsty. Now, this actually, the title, I love the title because it really puts it into perspective. A lot of people start looking for people when they already need them. Well, that's actually not the time. Reality is, well, the best way of doing it is actually building a network of people before you need them. So when something happens and you go, oh, I need a lawyer, oh, I have few lawyers, on my contact list, oh, I need a doctor and I have few doctors, I need somebody, etc. So this way, Harvey Mackay, his dad, he sat him down when he was about, I think, 19 or something like that, and his dad said to him, now every single person that you will meet from now on, you have to get their contact details and find a creative way to stay in touch with them. And now Harvey Mackay's Rolodex is about, I think, like 15,000 people. So really, and he's one of the very, very influential people in America. Because he has such amount of contacts. So it's really one of the very, very key skills in our business is actually getting person's contact details first of all, because very often business partners, what they do, they make themselves some business cards, and then they are just dishing out these business cards, which is great. I mean, it's great as a first step, but even better is to give them a business card and to take their contact details with you. Because if you just give your contact details out to people, then guess who's in control? They are, exactly, because they can choose whether to call you back or not to call you back, to look on your website or not to look on it, etc. But if you take their contact details, then you are in control, because now you can call them, follow up, say, how, did you have a look on the website? Did you have a look, at the samples? Did you try it? What did you think, etc. So always, and maybe 20, 30 years ago, it would have been very, very difficult to stay in touch with people, etc. But nowadays, it's easy because we have things like Facebook. Add that person as a friend, and that's it. From now on, everything you post on Facebook, they will see. So it's a very easy, unobtrusive way of staying in touch with thousands of people potentially. So really, it's not as difficult as it used to be, where you had to handwrite a letter and post it, to them, etc. Now you can really stay in touch with people much easier if you just keep their details. Add them to your Facebook, add them to your LinkedIn, add them to your Twitter, whatever you use, and just this way they can keep seeing you, and that serves as a form of follow-up, but we'll go in a follow-up later on. So benefits of building a network are many, including things like influence. It increases your influence. The larger your network, the more influential you become. More friendships, more fun. Overall well-being. They say that having a network of people helps to people. In terms of career well-being, social well-being, financial well-being, physical well-being, and even community well-being. So it's really it just gives us a lot. In every single area. And of course, finally and mainly probably, it gives a big pool of receptive prospects, because the more people you have on your network, the more of these people will eventually join your business, and become part of your organization, because you cannot expect everybody to join your business. So the more people you introduce into think of it like, let's say, take Facebook. The more people you add as a friend, and when you're posting things about business, about motivation, about the fact that you're recruiting and things like that, the more friends you have on Facebook, the larger the chance that some of them will say, oh, that sounds interesting, or that looks interesting, let me find out a little bit more what she's doing or what he's doing. But if you have 2 friends on Facebook, then again, it's a lower chance to recruit somebody. So really, again, it's all about that, about building that network of people. And there are what they call success habits. So first, and probably the most important, is everyone you meet. Get contacts and find a creative way to stay in touch. So really make this as a habit almost, so where every time you meet somebody, say, oh, by the way, are you on Facebook, or are you on LinkedIn, let's connect, and get in a habit of connecting with people you meet, etc. Don't just sort of meet and let them go, but always try and find a way of getting their contact details, so say, oh, by the way, do you have a business card, by the way, can we just change numbers in case, whatever, so it's always good to learn to do that, so to keep building on and even if you're not planning to recruit that person, even if you're not planning to bring that person in a business, doesn't really matter. You never know when in life you might need their help, or they might need your help, or whatever it is. And the attitude should be, what can I do for you? Too many people, when they started network marketing, myself included, I can admit that, when I first started, my attitude wasn't like that. My attitude was, what can they do for me? How can I recruit them into my business? How can I sell them my products? How can I make more money? How can I? So it was all about me, you know, how can they become part of my business and help me financially, etc. And humans are that type of creature where we look to obviously benefit ourselves. But the reality is this is not the best strategy, especially in business. Because again, people sense it if you see them as the dollar signs, you know, if you don't see them as a real person, or you just see them as a number, you know. So really, it took me a long time to change my attitude, where I stopped looking what they can do for me, but I started looking what can I do for them. So I would meet somebody and I would always interview them, you know, in a very light form. So I try to find out. So I say, hey, okay, Mary, you know, so what is it that you do right now? Oh, no, okay, Lucy, you know, so what do you want, you know, to get from life? You know, or where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? You know, where, you know, what are your goals, etc. And sort of try to dig deeper and see, is there anything that my business or my product could do for this person? You know, and this way, you know, I'm not even afraid of finding out that actually this person where they are today, there is nothing I can do for them. You know, they couldn't join my business because it's not right business for them. They might not be able to afford my product, whatever. So, but to be honest, it's very rare that you'll find that, because usually it's either, you know, somebody who has, you know, wouldn't join your business, probably they could become your customer, and somebody who can't afford your product, then they probably need your business, because then they need to earn some money, you know, so they can afford your product. So either way, usually 9 times out of 10, your business can do something for them. But you almost have to come from that, you know, with that attitude where what can I do to this person? And this way, then it allows us to find out what are their goals, what are their desires, and what do they want. Because too often we try to push our dreams onto other people, you know, because I want to be a diamond, I want to push everybody to become a diamond. But somebody that I've just recruited in the business, their goals might be completely different, and they might not want to be a diamond and, you know, have an organization of 25,000 people and, you know, be on a stage all the time or whatever, you know. So really, it's all about finding out, what does this person want? What do they want from the business? What do they want from the product? What do they want from you as a sponsor? That's the best way of sort of going around. And don't keep score, you know. Don't go, you know, oh, I've helped this person once, I've helped them twice, I've helped them 3 times, they didn't look at my business, you know, so I'm not going to help them anymore. It's really not about that, you know. I don't want to get spiritual here, but sort of universe has a way of returning, you know. So if you keep giving, you'll start receiving too, you know. I can promise you that, you know. And we say develop this muscle, you know, because this is like a muscle. It's not again, it's not a natural resource, you know. So for a lot of people, you know, you just have to sort of practice and practice and practice and practice this whole, you know, making a contact, getting the contact details, adding them onto your contact base, keeping in touch with them. You're almost like a muscle that you have to develop, you know. But once you do that long enough, and a lot of it, you know, then it sort of becomes very, very natural to you. And the last thing here on the slide, it says rewarded or punished for the past. And that's something, or fortunate or unfortunate, that it happens in our business. You know, we say very often that people get rewarded or punished for their past in this business. What does that mean? Well, what does that mean? You know, sometimes people look, they've been in a business for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, and somebody new joins the business and they go whoosh, straight past them, goes straight to the higher levels, builds team much faster, gets better results. And this person who's been in a business for a year or 2 years or 3 years goes, oh my God, this is just unfair. You know, this person just joined, and in 3 months they did more than I did in 3 years. You know, this is just, you know, I don't like that, etc. And, you know, the reality is that, though, what I want to try and say by that is that some people are really, you know, they've been building their network all of their life. You know, they've been helping people when they were moving houses, and they were helping people financially and attending their birthday parties and attending their child's christening parties and all that. So they were always there for their friends. So when they join this type of business, their friends go, finally, you know, I've been looking for a way to pay you back or to give you back something, you know, so definitely I will have a look in your business. Definitely I will join your business, etc. And these people who've been really, really helpful all of their life to other people, when they join this type of business, these people are eager to join the business, and this is why they progress within business so fast. But then the question is, did they build this business then in 3 months that it took them to get to whatever level, or did they build this business over the last 40 years? And the reality is that they have been building this business all of their life. They just haven't had the business yet. So they have built the network in the last 40 years, and then all they did, they took FM business, plug it into their network of friends, family, work colleagues, etc. And all of these people join and they progress really, really fast. But the reality is it didn't take them 3 months, it took them their whole life. Now, on the other hand, people who weren't that helpful, people who weren't that social, who weren't that friendly, etc., when they join this type of business, again, they try to recruit now their friends and family, etc., and they go, oh, so now you need me, right? You weren't there when I needed you, but now you need me, right? So this way, these type of people obviously get a little bit punished in this business to begin with, because obviously they have to change that attitude now. So, but again, on the other hand, it's never too late to start building this network of people, and again, looking what can I do for you, how can I help you, and how my business could help you, not how you could help me, so that's the sort of idea behind it. And the first, obviously, step in terms of finding prospects is, of course, making a list. And this is a must for brand new people. So when brand new people are joining your business, the first thing you should always ask them to do is to write a list. Write a list of people that they know, because this is, if they just do that one thing, the chances of them succeeding increase dramatically, because people, the biggest thing in this business is obviously we need people. We need to recruit people into the business. And if a person writes a list, it will help them to succeed much faster, because they then have a visual tool where they can go, okay, so I've got this person, this person, this person, so they can keep follow up with these people and build the business. So we always say that there's 3 types of people. Posers, people who pretend, to do this business, they make a mental list. So when they start this type of business, they go, oh, I can think of a couple of people who might join, and that's pretty much it. And that's obviously, as you can appreciate, it's not very serious. Then the second group of people is amateurs. And amateurs, what they do a written list, which is much better than a mental list, but that's pretty much it. They do it once and they never do it again. But professionals, they keep what they call an active candidate list, which means when they first start, they write down a list of everybody they know, and then they keep adding to that list. So it's almost like a journal or like a book of contacts where we keep adding new people to that book all the time, which, again, like I said, not necessarily we're going to recruit them today or tomorrow, but it's somebody that we want to keep in touch with, over long term. And steps to going pro are few. So the first step is make a comprehensive list. So we say EYK list, or everyone you know. And sometimes people say, well, but do I need to write my cousin who I hate? And do I need to write my neighbor who, is, completely, not the right person, etc. And we're saying that at this point, the task is to write a list. It's not to think who you're going to recruit or who you're not going to recruit. Now, the reason why we always ask the person to write everybody they know is because by writing the cousin who they hate and they don't want to bring into the business, just writing their name on the list will remind them of somebody else. And writing that person down will remind them of somebody else. So really, you want them to write everybody, because this way you will remind them of other people. They might go, oh, I hate this person. However, this person knows so-and-so, and that person knows so-and-so. And this way they can actually think of more people if they just write everybody. At this point, we're not saying that all of these people you will be recruiting or approaching about the business. So basically, the person has to empty their mind on paper, put down all the lists, so all organizations they've been to, their mobile phone, their Skype, their email, their Facebook, literally everybody they know, everybody they've got contact to, they need to write on the list. Even the people that they don't have a telephone number, they might say, oh, I know so-and-so, but I haven't got the contact details. Doesn't matter. They just need to write everybody down, and then later we can find how to get their contact details, maybe through somebody else or for another friend, etc. The second step is what we call second degree of separation. Now, you guys might have heard of a concept of 6 degrees of separation, where they say that every person in the world is connected to each other through maximum of 6 people, which basically means you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows the Pope and who knows Barack Obama and who knows whatever, George Bush. So the reality is that every one of us basically through 6 people, we know pretty much everybody around the world. We just need to find the right contacts, how we can access them. So we don't want to go 6 degrees here, but what we're talking here is second degree of separation. So once you've written down the people that you know, then you need to start thinking, okay, so who does Lucas know? And who does John know? And who does Peter know? Oh, he knows so-and-so, and he knows so-and-so. So really thinking again about who people that you know, who do they know? Because very often what I found in business, that the person I've recruited into the business, very often they don't turn out to be the best person in the business, and they don't even do that much. But sometimes they act as a gateway to other people who actually are interested in doing the business, who actually are very motivated and actually end up being some of the biggest leaders in your business. And some of the biggest leaders in my business are on the fourth line and fifth line down and sixth line now, etc. So the person that I personally recruited, maybe they haven't turned out to be an extremely high leader or whatever, but the people they knew and the people they knew actually turned out to be really, really into the business. So sometimes the people might act as a gateway to other people. And number 3 is, of course, constantly expand your list. So it's an active list, like we said. So keep adding people. You might want to get into a habit that some people do, is adding 2 people a day. So every day thinking, okay, who is going to be added to my list? Who is going to be added to my book? And almost again, it's like a muscle, like an exercise. So every day you're thinking at the end of the day, okay, who are 2 people I met today that I need to put into my contact list, etc. And it is a core skill, because at the end of the day, we always say this is people's business, so the more people we can get access to and the more people that go onto our list, the larger our business eventually can grow. And raise your awareness as well, pay attention. So when usually people go through their days without thinking about it. And very often, when we recruit new people into business, they go, oh, now I need to find all of this extra time to go and find people for my business. And we go, well, that's not actually entirely correct. Because sometimes you need to work smarter and not work harder. And what we mean by that is that we're already meeting people all the time, doing whatever we do every single day. You go to shop and you meet people at the shop. You go to gym, you meet people at the gym. You go to church, you meet people at the church. You go to work, you meet people at work. And basically, we're already meeting all the time people, but very often we don't have that skill of actually getting the contact details and showing them the business and staying in touch with them. So this is where we need to almost switch our mind on it, and we start looking for opportunities to talk to people and exchange contact details. So whenever we're meeting people now, again, we should have that sort of almost like a laser focus, on, okay, so let's exchange details, let's exchange contact details, let's exchange numbers, let's friend each other on Facebook or whatever it is. So it's not just meeting somebody, having a chat and saying bye, but actually getting their details, getting in touch, staying in touch with these people. And then step number 4 is network on purpose. So again, we always say, don't hide, get out there. If you're sitting at home, in between the 4 walls, then obviously you're not going to meet anybody new. So, get out there, have some fun, join a new gym, start a hobby, volunteer, for important cause, just basically meet new people, and also, obviously using social media, become interesting. Sometimes I go on Facebook and I see somebody's status update, I hate my life. Now I'm thinking, oh, well, you sound like an interesting person and I would like to spend more time with you, right? Not really, right? So again, be very careful, what you're putting out there on the social media, because you are being observed and you are being watched. So if you putting stuff that is inspirational, educational, that is interesting, basically, or even funny, people will go, well, I get that person, I like the way they think, and I want to see more what they do, what they say, etc. So sort of people then can relate to you. But if you're putting negative stuff that is controversial or whatever, then people will say, well, do I actually want to be in touch with that sort of person, etc. So it's also, social media is great in a way that it's easy to access people, etc. But on the other hand, we have to be sort of aware of what we're posting there, etc. And simple things like we say, smile, walk fast, look sharp. Again, if you're representing business, then you should look like a business person. Now I'm not saying go, and spend $5,000, on an Armani suit. But what I'm saying is that look representable. I've seen people come to business opportunity meeting wearing tracksuit bottoms, and flip-flops. And, personally, I don't believe that's the right attire, to have when you're going to a business meeting, So again, it's what you need to think about, that very often you're not selling FM and you're not selling FM product. What you're selling is you, first of all. They say the first impression, it takes about 30 seconds to make a first impression. So when you come to meet somebody, it'll take them 30 seconds to decide whether they like you or not. And so this way, the way we look is a very important part of that. So really, and that person, when they're thinking about joining the business, again, they're not gonna think, oh, will the firm, provide me with this, that, or the other, or will this work? 9 times out of 10, person will think about you. They'll say, will this person be the person who helps me? Will this person take me by the hand and teach me and show me everything? Will this person be professional enough to look after me and help me to really succeed in this business? Because we've seen it, there's so many, get rich quick scams, etc. And people are scared nowadays. People have got experience, bad experience sometimes, from the past. So they want to see somebody who's, has integrity, who is professional about what they do, and the person that will really help them. So this is the sort of things to take into account. Okay, so now the skill number 2 is inviting prospects. And inviting prospects is a gateway skill. So once we found that person, once we made a contact with them, we need to know what to say and how to say it, not to ruin that person or not to lose that person. I've seen it so many times where brand new people start in business and they have good contacts, but because they don't know what to say or how to say it, they burn these contacts. They really just spoil those contacts, and then it's really, really hard to get back to those people once you said the wrong thing. So inviting prospects is a skill of helping us to sort of invite people in the right way. So far, guys, do you have any questions?
No.
You're good.
You all make sense so far?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. So basically, again, here comes the professional mindset. And professional mindset is about building relationships. And the goal, again, is to educate and inspire. So our goal, again, is not to recruit. Our goal is to educate these people and inspire them and to let them know about what we do, etc. But it's not about, trying to recruit them there and then, etc. And, again, the whole idea is to build trust and transfer belief. They say that for the person to buy a product or to join your business, 3 things have to happen. They have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you. Now, if they don't trust, don't know, and don't like you, then it's really difficult going to be to recruit them into the business, etc. So one of the first things we always aim to do is to build that trust, so where the person goes, okay, I can relate to this person, I can trust this person. And second thing is to transfer belief. Again, sales is, something that people are scared of. When they hear the word sales or selling or salesperson, they go, oh my God, I could never be a salesperson or do sales, etc. But for me personally, sales is nothing more than a transfer of feeling. If I can make you feel the way I feel about this business, you're going to join this business. If I can make you feel the way I feel about this product, you're going to buy this product. Trust me. So it's all about, for me personally, is transferring that belief. And I remember when I first started, and for even now, when I present the business, very often people approach me after the presentation and they go, "Wow, you're so, you're so excited about this thing. You're so energized about this." I go, "Of course I am. If I wasn't excited about it, why would you be?" So it's almost, sometimes I've seen people who do a perfect presentation, but because they don't have that belief in them, they don't have that excitement in them, people are still not sure whether to join it or not. And then I've seen other people who do a rubbish presentation, which means they don't really know the marketing plan very well, etc. But because they're so excited, people are joining them anyway. Because they go, wow, my God, if you're so excited about this thing, it must be something good, I need to join it too. So it's really sometimes that the way how we say it is more important than what we say, when we're transferring this belief. And also, professionals don't pitch. What professionals do, they get face-to-face and they, like we said, they educate person, because again, the chances are this person that you're talking to, they might have heard of network marketing, they might have heard of business, but they've never done it. They've never actually got into it and really found out how it all works, etc. So you almost have to take it as a blank slate. Imagine you're explaining network marketing to a child. So you have to really explain everything thoroughly so they're clear on how things work and how do they earn and how the whole business works, etc. Because when we say always confused mind, we'll always say no. So if a person is confused about this, they will always say, oh, I need to think about it. So you need to make sure that you explain it well, and that's where we need to get face-to-face and really explain the business in an effective manner. Okay, so we're usually going to be inviting to one of the two things. We're either going to invite people to event, or we're going to invite them to a tool. So let's start with the event, and then we'll talk about tools as well. So first thing is event. An event is most effective because this gives us the physical interaction. Again, it builds trust. It gives social proof. If you're inviting somebody for a business opportunity meeting and you're just doing it one-on-one, there's nothing wrong with that. But for that person, the only person they know who does FM business then is you. But if you invite that person for a business opportunity meeting and there's another 200 people in that meeting, then they go, well, everybody can't be wrong. All of these people, if they're here, it must be something, worth our while, worth our time. And this is where it builds that social proof. Same way like today, this training, if I was sitting here and only one of you would be in that room, you might be thinking, well, I don't know how useful this training will be because I'm the only person here. But now that there's few of you, you might be thinking, okay, so if all of these guys are here, then there must be some value in this training, so I might attend as well. So that's the sort of social proof is a very, very important thing nowadays, because people look what other people say, what other people do. Also, it has excitement because you see other people around. It sort of creates that excitement, and it also builds urgency. If at the end of the business opportunity meeting, one person starts filling in the registration form, other person starts filling in the registration form. So the person who might have been on a fence and still not sure whether to join or not, because now they see everybody else joining, they go, you know what, I will get, in it as well, because I can see that everybody's going on and I want to be on this train, I want to be in this opportunity. So events are really, really powerful. However, the downside is that it's more difficult to schedule and people don't show. And this can be very, very discouraging. Actually, people not turning up for meetings and for trainings and for calls, etc., probably knocks more people out of this business than anything else. So this is one of the discouragements or one of the things that we have to sort of live with, and we have to learn how to cope with it as well, because it's really, 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 it's definitely going to happen, and it's just part of the business. The reality is that, you will never have 100% attendance and 100%, people that you invited come to the meeting. But all you need to do is work out your ratio. So if you invite 10 people to a meeting and 2 of them come, then you know that you get 2 out of 10. So if you want 10 people in the room, then you invite 50, or whatever. So this way, basically, you then work on your numbers. The second thing we would be inviting person is to a tool. So this is a good first step before maybe we invite them to an event. So this might be a CD, a DVD, a brochure, an online resource, a story, a magazine, a website, some product samples, a mobile message or something like that. So this is, again, a tool that we might use to show them, to get them a little bit of interested into FM business. And then maybe after that, we would invite them to a live event, etc. So, one of the things we always say in terms of inviting, it's always about the power of third party. And what we mean by that is that if your lips are moving, you should be either pointing, reading, introducing, or telling a story. What we mean by that is that the biggest leaders in this business, they don't make themselves the deal. What we mean by that is that you don't need to be the all-knowing person. Very often, it's better actually if when you're presenting the business, you're actually pointing to a PowerPoint presentation, or you're reading off a brochure, or you're introducing to your sponsor, or you're telling a story. Because again, what you need to think always at all times is when you're recruiting the person, that person is going to be thinking, would I be able to do that too? And if you know this business inside out and you're really good at it, etc., and you're doing this presentation without any resource or anything, you're just doing it off your memory, and you're doing a fantastic presentation and everything, that person might be sitting there and saying, well, this is great, I like the idea, but I could never do what this girl is doing. Or I could never do what this guy is doing, because, I could never learn this presentation like that. But if you are inviting somebody and you're saying, well, my sponsor knows about this business much better than I do, so let me introduce you to him and he will tell you about the business. What will they be thinking? They will be thinking, well, I could introduce my people to my sponsor too. That's not hard, and get them to do the presentation, right? So this is really where, again, you're thinking about duplication. Can this be repeated? Can this be duplicated? And there are 4 emotional rules of inviting. So first emotional rule is emotionally detach from the outcome. So again, a mistake that I used to do when I first started, I would invest myself into this person before they even joined the business. So I would think, oh, John, if John joined my business, oh my gosh, that would just explode my business. And I would already be fantasizing how my business and how my life will change because this person will join my business. And then, of course, imagine what happens when that person says no and they don't join your business. You feel crushed, you feel, oh my God, surely I thought John will join my business, and everything. So never, do that. Always emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. Think in a way that it's their choice at the end of the day. Whether they're going to join or not, it's their choice. So your job is to offer the business, and their choice is to make a decision. Whether they're going to say yes or no is going to change their life, but it's not going to change your life, because you still got another, couple of billion people on this planet, so you will never run out of people, So that's the sort of way you have to look at it. Always be yourself. Always bring your passion into when you're inviting somebody. And posture is very important, and we will talk about posture. And posture is basically the way you come across. So are you begging these people to join your business and to have a look at your thing, or are you doing them a favor by showing them this business? And that's where you really, really need to become a bit professional, and we'll talk about that. But I always say to people, think in a way that imagine you went for a job interview in a bank. Do you think they would go, oh, well, our bank is so wonderful, and we give this holiday and we pay this amazing money, and you have this and that and the other, etc. Please, please, please join our bank. Or would they go, so who are you? Tell me more about yourself. Sell yourself to me. Prove that you are worth the money that we're going to pay you, right? And that's how you need to be thinking as well. You need to be thinking that you are the CEO of your $100,000 a year business. Right, and to this new person that you're recruiting into the business, you need to be very carefully thinking, do I want to pay money to this person? Now, fair enough that in this business, you're not going to have to pay the money to them, but you're still going to have to spend time and energy to train them and teach them, etc. So you always need to always be interviewing these people and thinking, is this person good enough for my team? Is this person, worth my time to be invested? So this way you come across them completely different. You're no longer begging them to join. You actually, you are in the control, and you are thinking whether to introduce them or not. Okay, so there are 8 steps to professional invitation. And these 8 steps are as follows. First step, be in a hurry. Second step, compliment the prospect. Third step, make the invitation. Fourth step, if I would you. Fifth step, confirmation number 1, get the time commitment. 6th step, confirmation number 2, confirm the commitment. And confirmation number 3, schedule next call. And step number 8, get off the phone or stop talking, right? And that is also a very, very important step, because many of us, we talk and 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 talk, and we sell the business. And then we carry on talking and talking and talking, talking and talking and talking, and then we buy the business back from them. So it's really, really important at one point or another to stop talking. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to very quickly have a look at these 8 steps and how they actually work. So first step is be in a hurry, and this is a psychological issue. It's like a cat with a string. If you just throw the string in front of the cat, it's not going to be interested in that string for a very long time. But if you keep moving that string, the cat will be interested in the whole day. It's the same way with our prospects. People are attracted to non-needy. If you're begging them to join the business, it sort of pushes them away. But if you don't give them all information right away, they go, oh, tell me more, show me more, etc. And being in a hurry, what it does, it leads to shorter invitations, it leads to less questions and less resistance. And also people will respect you and your time, because let's face it, everybody's in a rush nowadays. So you want to be always in a hurry, because that will set the right pace. A person will go, oh, good that you're in a hurry, because I'm in a hurry too. And we'll talk about how we can do that. So some of the examples of being in a hurry is, first thing is warm market. So for example, people that you know already. So you might call the person and say, look, John, I don't have a lot of time to talk, but it was really important that I reach you. Do you have a minute? Or I have a million of things going on, but I'm glad I caught you. Or I'm running out of the door, but I needed to talk to you real quick. What this does, it leads to a very short invitation, because if the person knows that you're in a rush, they're not going to start, oh, so what is this all about? And tell me more about this business, and tell me how the 15th level on the marketing plan pays, and all that. You don't have any of that then, because you're in a rush, right? And also, you need to think in a way that, imagine if you find out that the supermarket in your area have just announced 90% off everything. right? You're gonna call your friend and go, "Hi, John. How are you? How are you today?" You're gonna call somebody and go, "Oh my gosh, there's 90% sale. You have to put your shoes on and run to the shop, right now." So you have to have that urgency. And same way this business, it doesn't matter whether you've been in this business 2 weeks or 3 years. You have to have that urgency where you go, "My gosh, we have an amazing opportunity. You need to have a look at it." So it has to be an urgency. And some of the examples for cold market as well, so things like, imagine you met somebody on a bus stop or, in a shop, you started chatting, they're a nice person, and you would like to show them the business, but obviously it's not the right place or time to do your 2-hour business opportunity presentation on a bus stop, So you want to invite them. So you could use lines like this, "Now isn't the right time to get into this because I have to go, but," and you'll carry on, "or I have to run, but, or I'm about to go in a meeting, but I wanted to talk to you real quick." So really, the whole idea is to build in that urgency, and that, that being in a hurry. So focus is on a concept, not on the exact words. It doesn't matter how you say it when you say it, but it has to basically show that you are busy, you have a lot going on, and you're excited, right? So that's the first step. The second step then is complimenting the prospect. And again, I've seen leaders who have 20,000 people organizations, and they do that all the time, probably without even feeling that they're doing it. So every time they go somewhere, they meet people, they always compliment them, because complimenting is critical. It opens the door to communication, it builds instant rapport, and it will double your results. So if you want double, then start complimenting people. So again, it's really about finding something nice about the person. So whether they're wearing a nice dress, or they're wearing a nice tie, or they're wearing nice shoes, or they look, they had a nice haircut, or whatever it is that you can compliment them. People like to be complimented. It always works. So some examples here, for example, for people that might be something like, "You've been very successful, and I've always respected the way you've done business." So this is a compliment, and it leads into you then presenting them or asking them to have a look at your business. Or, "You've always been so supportive of me, and I appreciate it so much." Or, "You have an amazing mind for business and can see things other people don't see." So all of these things give them an ideas. By the way, I'm gonna send a copy of these scripts and these phrases to Anna and Lucas, so they can share it with you guys. So you don't worry if I'm going quite quick through these, but I'll send you the script so you can actually print them out and sort of follow them as you're practicing to each other.
All right.
Okay, and some examples for cold market would be like, imagine you're in a restaurant, and the person or the waiter is giving you really nice service. So you can say, "Well, you've given me some of the best service I've ever received. You're a really nice person," and then you move into inviting them to have a look. But that little sentence that you do, it strokes their ego, and it makes them feel nice, and it will change the results you get dramatically. Or you meet somebody in town or whatever, and they look really nice, they're wearing a nice suit, nice tie, etc., and you're thinking, "Wow, this person must be somebody." And you can say to them, you go, "Look, you look super sharp, can I ask you what you do for a living?" People like that. You'll go, "Oh, I'm so and so, I do this and that," etc. So it sort of opens this door to communication. Of course, it goes without saying that it must be sincere. So if you compliment them, it should be something that you generally like about them. Find something good about them, and professionals are doing it constantly. And again, what I would like to do is encourage you guys to start doing it, whether you're gonna go into the invitation after that or not. But just compliment everybody you're meeting. Just keep complimenting them. Get into this habit where it almost comes natural to you. So you meet somebody new, and first thing you say to them, you go, "Oh, I like your shoes, oh, I like your tie, you look really nice today," or whatever. To get into a habit of complimenting people all the time. You will be surprised, how many friends you will start having. Okay, so step number 3 then is, once we said to them that we're in a rush, and once we complimented them, then we're gonna invite them. And there's 3 ways to invite. There is direct approach, indirect approach, or super indirect approach. So I'll explain each of them, what's the difference between them. But basically, direct approach is where we're offering the business directly to them. Indirect approach is where we're offering the business to them, but without actually offering it to them, and you'll get what I mean in a moment. And super indirect approach is where we're going to say to them, "This business is not for you." And again, you'll see how we do that, etc. So, and the problem is that most people who brand new in network marketing, usually they just use direct approach. which is sometimes a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much in your face, and it's a little bit rubbing your nose in it, So because that's basically saying directly to them, that you probably need more money, you probably need to change your life or whatever. So sometimes people, don't like that, being said to them directly. But let's have a look at some examples. So a direct approach would be, John, when you told me you needed some extra money, were you serious or were you just kidding around? Because I think I found a way for you to get some extra money, or to solve that problem, or to make it happen, right? So this is very direct, it's saying to the person directly, or I think I found a way for us to really boost our cash flow, or when I thought of people who could make an absolute fortune with this business, I thought of you, Or let me ask you a question off the record. If there was a business you could start working part-time from your own home that could replace your current income, would you look at it? So it's really very direct, and it's usually you would use that only for people that you know well, so somebody who you know well. You wouldn't go, on a street and, whatever, in a cafe, and just presume that the person will hate the job, and you go, look, I know you probably hate your waiter's job, so why don't you have a look at my business? Because that is sometimes a little bit too direct, and that can sort of scare people off a little bit. Some other examples, like, have you ever thought of diversifying your income? Have you ever thought of different ways of making money? Do you keep your career options open? One of the things that I like to use is this sentence, which is, do you plan on doing what you do now for the rest of your life? So sometimes, I'll use that, when I'm meeting somebody and, I'm chatting to them and go, so what is it that you're doing, Mary? And she'll go, well, I work, in a bar or whatever, And I would say, well, okay, that's brilliant. That sounds interesting, and do you plan to do that for the rest of your life, And very often what people will say, they'll say, well, no, I'm just doing that right now to get by until something better comes up. Now that opens the door for me then to say, well, by the way, I think I have something better for you, right? But this it's a good question to ask, because again, it gets you the feeling where this person is. Because if somebody works as a waitress and you go, so are you planning to work, do that for the rest of your life? And they go, oh, yes, absolutely. Then you might reconsider whether they are the right person for your business or not, or something like, you're radically underpaid here. So if you meet somebody who is super sharp, they look nice, they talk to you nicely, they're a really nice person, and they're doing a job where you know that they're getting paid very little, you can really say that. You can say, look, I think you could make so much more money, than you are making here. Do you keep your career options open? I want to talk to you. I want to show you something that you might be really, really interested in. So. Don't be afraid to say that, because if somebody is really nice and they are in a job which pays them very little, you might say to them, look, I think you are worth a lot more than you are getting paid here, and then you can go into the invitation and invite them to meet, for a cup of coffee or something like that. Okay, so that was direct. Now the next one is indirect. So indirect approach is basically offering the business to them without showing it directly to them. So some examples would be like, I've just started a new business and I'm really nervous. So before I get going, I need to practice on someone friendly. Would you mind if I practiced on you, right? So now you're not offering the business to them. What you're saying is that you need to practice your presentation on somebody, right? So would you mind listening to me? But guess what happens after you practice on them? They join your business. So this is a nice way of sort of offering it to them without offering it to them. Or, I found a business that I'm really excited about, but what do I know? You have so much more experience. Would you look at it for me and let me know your opinion? So this is a neat way of inviting people to a business opportunity. You say, look, I'm just starting this thing, but I'm not quite sure. Now you have so much more experience. Could you come with me and just let me know what you think about it? And if you invite them to a meeting and they go, nah, this is rubbish or whatever, you might say, okay, that's fine. No problem. I appreciate your opinion. But if they come and go, wow, this is amazing, you might go, okay, great. You might want to join my team then. So it's really a nice way again of in exposing people to your business. Or something like that. The company that I'm with right now is doing some tremendous things here in Nairobi, but I'm not sure if it would work in whatever town they are in. So would you take a look at it for me and let me know if it would work there or if it would work in your area? So that's again a neat way of getting people to try the business without them thinking that they're doing the business. So you might say, look, Mary, you live 500 miles away from me, so I can send you some catalogs, etc. And would you take these catalogs to work and stuff like that to show to people in your area just to see if the business would work there, just to do me a favor, not that you're joining my business, it's just to do some market research, And guess what? If she goes to work, gets 20 orders, she's gonna call you and say, well, I want to join first because I want to be earning money on these orders, etc. So it's again a nice way of sort of introducing person to the business without actually introducing them directly. Okay, and the last one is the super indirect approach, which is basically saying to the person that this business is not for you. So it would sound something like that. The business I'm in clearly isn't for you, but I wanted to ask, who do you know that is ambitious, money motivated, and would be excited about the idea of adding more cash flow to their lives? So you could use this, to what we call your chicken list. A lot of people have what they call their chicken list, which is people that they know who are very successful, who are in good jobs or whatever, and for whatever reason, the distributor thinks that, oh, this person would never be interested in my FM business. So if you have people like that, then approach them using super indirect approach. Say to them, look, this is not for you. However, do you know anybody who would like to earn some extra cash? And guess what? A lot of these people will go, well, what is it? Tell me more about it. I might be interested, etc. So sometimes, we prejudge people and we disqualify them, before actually we show them the business, or something like that. Who do you know that has hit a wall with their business and might be looking for a way to diversify their income? Really indirect approach. I work with a company that's expanding in this area, and I'm looking for some sharp people that might be interested in some additional cash flow. Do you know anyone who might fit that description? Again, it's a really nice way, very indirect, and very often they'll go, well, tell me more, I might be interested, etc. So it's a very indirect approach, and it works much better sometimes than a direct approach of saying, do you want some extra money, or do you look for, extra work, etc. Because people will go, no, I'm okay. Do I look like I need some extra money? What do you mean by that, etc. So sometimes indirect works better. Okay. Now, step number 4 is if I would you. Now, what does that mean? Have a look at a few examples and then it will be clear for you. If I gave you a link that would explain all of this, would you watch it? If I gave you a CD that would explain this business better than I could, would you listen to it? If I gave you a website that could give you all the information, would you check it out? If I gave you this product, would you try it and see if it gets good results for you? If I invited you to a special invitation-only business opportunity meeting, would you come? Now, what this does, it gives you the posture. It puts you in control. So instead of saying, please, Mary, could you come to a business opportunity meeting and see my business, where you are begging them now to come, this puts you in a better position where you say, Mary, if I was to invite you to come to this invitation-only business opportunity meeting, would you come? Now, what this does is basically you're saying to them, I haven't invited you yet, or I haven't given you that CD yet, but if I were to give it to you, would you watch it? And if they go, no, you go, okay, no problem. You haven't invited them anyway. You were asking if I was to invite you, right? So this reduces the feeling of what they call rejection, so because people hate when people say no to them. People hate to be rejected. So this sort of puts you in control where you can justify to yourself saying, well, I haven't given it to them anyway. And that's this way, actually, you also save money. Because imagine if you printed out, 100 brochures about your business and you're just giving them to everybody, the chances are that most of them will go in a bin because people don't want to read them, don't want to look at them, etc. But if you have these 100 brochures and you ask every person, you say, if I gave you a brochure that would explain how you can earn extra money, would you be interested in reading it? And they go, no. You go, okay, no problem. So you don't give them one. But if they say, yes, I would be interested, you give it to them. So you're only then giving this resource, which you paid money with, to only to the people who are qualified, people who are actually interested in having a look. Now, of course, some of those who say, yes, I will, might not. But again, we'll go to the next step and we'll explain how to sort of catch them up. But that's the whole idea. So it puts you in control now, where basically you're in control. You're saying, if I was to invite you, would you come? If I was to give you, would you watch? If I was to send you, would you have a look at it, etc. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so step number 5 then is confirmation. So if you said to somebody, if I gave you this DVD, will you watch it? And they said yes, and you gave them the DVD, have they committed to watch it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, not yet, exactly. They just said, yeah, I will watch it, thinking that I'll just take this DVD and I'll just put it in the cupboard under the sink. However, we're going to catch them out now. So step number 5 is confirmation number 1. So we're getting the time commitment. So once we said that, if I was to give you the DVD and would you watch it? And they say yes. Okay, so we give them the DVD and we say then, when do you think you could watch the DVD for sure? Or when do you think you could listen to the CD for sure? And we don't suggest time for them. We ask the question and wait. And that makes it real. So now they have to think in their head and think, when on earth will I be able to watch this DVD now? So they have to say to you, whatever, tomorrow or on Wednesday or on the weekend, etc. Whatever they said, it's great, because now they said, you said to them, if I gave you the DVD, would you watch it? They said yes. Now you said, well, when will you watch it for sure? They said Thursday or Friday or whatever. So now they've said yes twice, right? Okay, great. So then we move to step number 6, which is confirmation number 2. So now we confirm the time commitment. So we say, okay, so if I called you on Wednesday morning, you would have seen it for sure, right? And this way now they have to either say yes or they have to adjust. So imagine I met Jemima and I said, Jemima, if I gave you this DVD, would you watch it? She goes, yes. I go, okay, so when do you think you will watch it for sure? And she goes, probably this weekend. Okay, brilliant. So if I called you on Monday morning, you would have seen it by then for sure, right? So now she needs to think, crap, he's going to call me. So will I actually be able to watch it this weekend? So she either has to say yes or adjust and say, well, actually, I might not be able to watch it this weekend. So if you called me on Wednesday, by then I would have watched it for sure. Great. You know, it doesn't matter for me when, but what it matters is that they're committing now to watch this DVD or to go onto the site and have a look at it or whatever it is. So now they've confirmed 3 times. They said, yes, I will take it. They said, I'll watch it by weekend. And they said, yes, you can call me on Monday. And I would have watched it by then for sure. So all you did, you asked questions and their answers actually making the appointment. And then the last one, step number 7, is actually confirmation number 3, which is scheduling the next exposure. So once you said, okay, so if I gave it to you, would you watch it? They said yes. And you said, when will you watch it for sure? This weekend. So you said, if I call you on Monday, you will watch that for sure. They said yes. So then the last thing you say, okay, so if I call you on Monday, what would be the best number to call you on? And they go, okay, call me on my mobile, which is 077, blah, 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 right? So now they have said yes 4 times. And booking appointments or giving tools that way makes the conversion to go from 5% to 80%. Now just think about that. That's if you talk to 100 people, if you do it in a normal way without doing all of what I just mentioned, then you will get 5 people out of 100 to have a look actually on your website, on your link, or on your DVD. If you do it this way, the way I've just described, it will make about 80 people out of 100 to have a look at that. Now, which is better, guys?
The 80%.
Right? However, you know, all of this, you know, as I'm going through this, you might be thinking, my gosh, this sounds awfully complicated to do that. But reality is it takes literally few seconds to do it. So, and step number 8, of course, is stop talking or get off the phone, right? Yeah. So let me just give you an example of how it would work. Let's say inviting somebody to business opportunity meeting, right? So we remember that step number 1 was you're in a rush, right? So I will call, you know, Lucas, and I'll go, hi, Lucas, you know, I'm just about to leave, go through the door, but it was very important that I catch you. So that was the I'm in a rush. Now, the second thing, I go into the compliment and I go, Lucas, you know, you've been very successful in the jobs you've done and the businesses you've done, and I really respect you for that. So I wanted to tell you about this thing too. So what I just did, I gave him a compliment, right? So the third thing, I go, okay, so if I was to invite you to this invitation only business opportunity meeting that is happening on Monday evening at 7 o'clock, would you be able to come? And he goes, yeah, I should. Okay, so I go, okay, so now I need to confirm, right? So go, so the meeting is on Monday at 7 o'clock at the Hilton Hotel. You know, will you be able to come? He goes, yeah, I should be fine. So then next step is to confirm it again. So I go, okay, so the meeting is actually going to be at the whatever room, at the meeting room at the Hilton Hotel. So and the Hilton Hotel is just near the thingy on that street, etc. And the parking is just around the corner there. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know that place? And he goes, yeah, I sort of know it there. Okay, great. So the last thing, the confirmation number 3, I go, so okay, so Lucas, when you come on Monday evening, I'm gonna be standing there at the reception of the hotel, waiting for you to pick you up and take you into the hotel, into the meeting room. Okay, fantastic. All right, so I'll see you then, and I get off the phone, right? So this is quite quick. You can do it literally in a minute's time. But what it does, it creates the event in the person's head. So where they would have just said, yeah, maybe I will be there. Now you're sort of taking them step by step. So are you going to be able to come? Yes. Do you know where this venue is? Yes. So I'm going to be standing there, and they can visualize you standing there, waiting for them for this meeting, etc. So even if they don't turn up, at least you're going to make them feel guilty that, you're standing there at the reception waiting for them. But the whole idea here is to really get the person to commit to look at whatever resource you're giving them, or to come to whatever training you're inviting them, etc. Because that, it makes it more serious, it makes it more real, right? Okay, guys, so we're going to stop here because we finished with skill number 2, and then next week we're going to go on to skill number 3, which is presenting. Okay, now let me just bring back the screen. Okay, screen share. Oops. Okay, all right, you should see me hopefully. Can you see me? Hey guys, can you see me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah?
See if we can hear.
Fantastic. Any questions, guys?
I was wondering, this is Jemima.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering, after the 3 lessons are over, can you invite Marcin Wojciech, I think, the guy who did the presentation of perfumes as they have, the percentages and the groupings and all that. Are you able to get in touch with him and,
With who, sorry?
Marcin Wojciech.
Marcin, yes, absolutely. Marcin is a corporate trainer here in UK, so he works for the FM Cosmetics UK, for the FM office in UK. So absolutely, we can arrange a webinar with Marcin and do a product training. What in particular you would like to learn?
Just for him to browse through the perfumes, the groupings, and talk about the classifications, like the oud de parfum, the parfums, and just to sort of like give a refresher on that.
Absolutely. Now that's absolutely fine. I will speak to Marcin and see if we can arrange a webinar sometime, in one of these calls, for example, on Monday, or if it all depends on his, duties, obviously, at the FM office. So I'll try and find out what would be the best time for him, and if he could do this Monday call, for example, or any other time, etc., and we can then arrange a training with Marcin. But I'm sure he'll be okay to do that, definitely.
Fine.
Fantastic.
Flora here. I want to ask.
Hey,
Can you
Flora.
hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I want to get people to, tell them about the business. So I want to send out something catchy, maybe to my email, my email contacts. So I want something very, something very catchy. How can I do it? What can I do?
To be honest,
Something that will get their attention.
Absolutely. First thing, when talking about email, first of all is, the headline. You have to think of the headline, and you actually have to try and test the headline. Because for some person, do you want extra cash, ? Will work better. And for another person might be something else, etc. So one of the things I would suggest is, first of all, have you heard of a thing called MailChimp?
MailChimp.
Yeah, it's called MailChimp. it's an email platform which allows you to make a list of contacts. So for example, let's say you've got a list of emails that people you want to promote it to. So
Yeah.
you go on MailChimp, you can set up a free account. You don't have to pay up to 1,000 people. So you can have a list of up to 1,000 people and email them absolutely free of charge.
Yeah.
But what MailChimp does, once you've uploaded your list of contacts, let's say you send them an email, you can actually see how many people opened the email, how many people didn't open the email, how many people's emails is actually not working and it didn't even get through them, and things like that. So it puts you in a lot more control. And what you can do then, for example, you can send the next email just to the people who haven't opened the email. So let's say, for example, you send an email saying, do you want to earn some extra cash, to 100 emails. And out of those 100 emails, maybe 25 people open that email and have a look at it, and the other 75 haven't opened that email. So you can send again the same exact email, but with a different headline. So you can put down, do you know anybody who's looking for work? And you send another email to the remaining 75 people, just to see if maybe they will open that email instead. And because they haven't opened the first one, they don't know that the email is exactly the same as the one you sent before. So this way you can test the headline to see which works better for the people. But in the actual text of the email, again, you need variation, because a lot of people nowadays, the best thing to use is video, because people are lazy to read, through pages and pages and pages of whatever, So sometimes, for example, you want to send them a video, which is a short video. It might be like 2-3 minutes, and you can even do it yourself. You can sit in front of your computer and just to record a quick video, go, hi, this is Flora. I just wanted to very quickly introduce you to FM, business opportunity. This is what we do. This is how we do it. We help people to earn money, blah, blah, blah. You explain the business how we'd explain normally, and say, if that sounds something that you would be interested in learning a little bit more, please, call me back on this number or email me on this, whatever. And then for the next email, you might do the same thing, but in the text. So you might write the whole long email about how this business works, etc. So this will be for the people who like to read. The third email, you might want to send them to the company website to have a look. The fourth email, you might want to show them some products, etc. So this way you can sort of catch different people, because we always say if you go to fish and you have one fishing rod and you have one type of bait, then you're only going to catch one type of fish. But like pro fishermen, they go and they have like 5 different rods with 5 different baits, so they can catch all the different types of fish. Same thing here in terms of the business. For some people, the extra income will be the factor. For other people, the product quality will be the factor. For the third person, they might not care about the business or the product, but they might care about you. Do I like this person? Do I want to join her? For the next person, it might be something like a holiday. They might be, if you say, oh, you can, earn some money so you can go on more holidays per year, that might do the thing for them. So it's really, you want to use a variety of things. And also, I always say to people, think what got you into the business. What were the factors that got you excited, and try and pass that across, because that will what potentially will get excited those people.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and also, one of the things I always say, learn from other people. So, I don't know about you, but, into my email, I very often get marketing emails from other companies and from other networkers and things like that. So take your time and read through their emails and read through their copy and go, oh, that's quite a good line, and that's quite a nice way of putting it. So, you can sort of borrow these techniques and these scripts from other people too, But even the stuff we've been covering here today, like about inviting people, again, you could literally write down what we've gone through today here, write down that whole step. So, hi, John and Mary, you've been so supportive of me, and you have such a good mind for the business. And, if I was to invite you to this business opportunity meeting, which is invitation only, would you come? And things like that, and a short email like that, send it out, see what happens, see what they answer, and things like that, So it's also about promoting. But, one of the things that, what I found that a lot of distributors, they will do everything in order not to talk to people. They will send emails, they will send messages, they will advertise on Facebook, they will do everything in order not to talk to people. And guess what's the best strategy to recruit people into this business?
Just talk to them.
Talk to people, yes. So one way or another, pardon me, the best thing to do is, of course, to call those people and invite them to a one-on-one meeting or to a group meeting or for a cup of coffee or whatever it is, because that's the best way. And for me, from my experience, how many people we've introduced to the business, it works the best. Now, that's not to say that email doesn't work and that advertising doesn't work and that text messaging doesn't work, but you should not just rely on those. Always try to get to the person face-to-face, one-on-one if it's possible, unless they live like thousands of miles away. But even that, I mean, you guys live far away from me, but I'm now talking to you face-to-face. I can see you, I can hear you, you can see me, etc. And that's, so now with technology, there's no excuse. We can Skype call people anywhere they are, explain about the business, but face-to-face makes it more predictable. It makes it more in control because I can see how you're reacting. I can see if you're already sleeping or if you're listening to me and you're asking questions, etc. But if I send you an email, I don't even know if you opened it. I don't know if you read it. I don't know if you're excited about it or not. So even if you send something out, what I would say, send it a blast of email, and if you have the telephone number, call them a few days later. Say, hey John, just wanted to double check if you received my email. And have you had a chance to have a look at the video? What did you think of it, etc. And things like that, just to follow up, with these people. And we'll talk about follow up again. That's going to be one of the skills, which we're going to cover anyway later on. Which again is a very, very important skill because for some people they need more than one exposure. Sometimes people think I will send one email and all of these people will join my business. But for some of these guys, they need to see about the business, and they need to see about the product, and they need to see about the people who run the business, and they need to read a little bit about the history of the company, and they need this and that and the other before they can make the decision and say, you know what, this is the right business for me. Not all of them are like, me, for example, first time I saw it, I went like, yes, I'm in, where do I sign? But not everybody is like that.
True. Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions, guys?
I think it's good. Thank you for those pointers about inviting, because I think I've been guilty of overload in my invite.
Absolutely. We call it verbal diarrhea.
Yeah.
So sometimes we are so excited, we sell the business and then we buy it back from them, So yeah, we have to learn how to be professional and how to sort of hold back a little bit and really say, I'm not sure yet if you will be the right person for my business, but let me invite you to this meeting where I can find out more about you, you can find out more about us, and then we can decide if you are the right person for our business. This will go, oh my gosh, it's not that easy, to get into this company, like with everybody else. So it sort of, it puts you in a little bit more control.
Sure.
Awesome. Leave you to it. You have a fantastic week, and then we'll meet next Monday morning again for our conference call. I'll email Marcin to check out with him if he could do a training for us as well somewhere down the line in one of the maybe Monday calls, or we'll do a separate training call with him maybe in the evening. So I'll check out with him, and then yes, if you have any questions, in the meanwhile, you can sort of email me or Facebook me or etc. You can find me on Facebook and stuff like that, or you just keep them for the next Monday call, and then I can answer them, etc. And yeah, feel free to invite your friends, etc. on these calls, etc. because that's, again, it's open for everybody. So I'll send the next week's link to Lucas and Anne, so they can share these links with you guys, and you can share them with anybody you want, because this is not limited. This is open for everybody.
All right.
Fantastic, guys. All right, bye for now, guys.
Bye.